Man, it took so long for this thing to start tracking face again. I had everything set up so cutely. Now I gotta set it back up again. Don't worry, I'm almost ready. I'm gonna keep doing the wrong thing. There we go. Yay! Now we're ready. Ready to draw. I finally added ortho last night. I didn't 100% finish, but like... So cute, he's my favorite. Of course I have to go above and beyond. It is a requirement. You know what? We're putting Tigger back on. I'm putting him back in the corner. I have to. It's ortho. I wanna draw him next to Tigger. I wanna draw them bouncing. Like Tiggers do. Yehehe. The baby. We have Sum Lilia and Sum Malleus today. We have the besties here. It's Malleus and his emotional support bestie. I've been thinking like way too much about how this outfit for Ortho would work. Because originally I wanted to do like, I wanted to actually have like the tail look something more like Tigger, you know, like all curled up like that, but then I'm like, I'm trying to draw it and it's just not turning out right, so I'm just like, you know what? The whole thing is a spring, but it's like one of those plasticky looking spring things. I don't know how to describe what I'm thinking of, but like it's still a spring. It's just not curled up like Tigger's. Because I couldn't figure out how to draw it the way I wanted to. It's like the idea is that it's still spring, but I also added like the way his legs are drawn. There's like springs in there too, so he's bouncy. I thought very hard about how this would function, okay? Because I love Ortho. He is my boy! My boys. And I still need to add a rabbit. Rabbit makes some funny faces. He really be trying apples every so often. Just let him garden. Also, no, I don't know if I told you, but Ortho now spoke in episode 7. Yeah, I heard. They're so confused, though. That's for sure. A little skit, and it was funny. Ida's so weird. I love him. You know what? I'm just gonna draw a rabbit. Oh. It's gonna be full on. Because I drew Cater in a way where I can't really just throw him in there as a plush toy. Hello, Shadow Milk Cookie! Ida and his love for kitties and fluff. I probably sound like a hater, but I didn't really vibe with Ida's English voice that much. Which is sad because, I like Ida's character, you know? I just have personal issues, okay? I have my own issues. For Ortho being confused, Ida was fine for me. His laugh was kind of spot on. Oh, Rubina bestie. Oh no. It's okay. I think my one complaint for Ida's voice is that it just didn't sound unhinged enough for me when he was going off about how much he wanted to, like the cat thing or whatever it was he was making. He didn't sound as unhinged. Bye-bye, bestie. Excuse me. Thank you for dropping by. Now watch as I struggle to draw a cartoon. Why am I struggling with the shape so much? I'm trying to treat this like how I would treat it if I was drawing in pencil. So apologize if I'm very just focused and silent and not saying anything. I want this to look like rabbit, okay? I hate how I can draw this very well. I might make the eyes small. Because the reference image I have has a basket of carrots, I am also adding a basket of carrots because I'm being extra. He is ready to tend to his garden. I don't feel like drawing anything properly right now. Time to move on. Hater. Now, excuse me. Now on to Cater. Oh, we focusing. We focusing. Cater's hairline kind of bugs me. Of his face, they're kind of coming from like the front of his head, not really the side, and that throws me off sometimes. Because it's like, I want to draw them coming from like I don't know why that bothers me so much. It's just a detail that I have to remember to pay attention to, because that's usually why I end up drawing Cater looking weird sometimes to me, because I'm not drawing his hair right. Marcus. I see pink is the color of the day for the cool event. How goes it, my friends? Hello, welcome back. Welcome back, Marcus. Everybody had to leave. But it goes quite well, actually. I finally added ortho, so here's ortho. Look at my boy. I thought very hard about how his new outfit would function. Because that's how much I adore ortho. The ortho bias is strong here, okay? Also, there's Rabbit. Because, I couldn't figure out how to draw Cater holding a plushie, so I just... Rabbit's here! Rabbit is here now. Is Ortho supposed to be Kanga or Lumpy? He's supposed to be Tigger! He is my boy! I think it's a little bit hard to see because, like, I turned down the opacity a bit, but, like... He's supposed to have a springy tail, and then there's, like, springs in the legs. Kind of like how his athletic gear kind of has springs on it. Also, valid ortho bias. Yes. Very valid ortho bias. And, they finally had a little mini episode in the anime where we get to hear Ortho's voice, and, I'm satisfied with the results. It wasn't enough to hear Ortho in all of his cuteness, because the skit itself was just Ortho being very confused at Ida. And it just has this energy of like, brother, are you okay? Why are you like this, brother? I see the tail now. I didn't see the Tigger stripes though. Yeah, the opacity was very low. But it was okay. It was an okay ortho voice. It's one of those, I need to hear it more just to be sure there wasn't enough to work with. In that skit, Ortho was just like confused the whole time. He's like, brother, what are you... Why are you obsessed with Grim? Be thankful we have any Ortho at all in the anime. Exactly. It's like, I ended up looking a little bit into the voice actor that was supposed to be playing Ortho just to see how he sounds. And since he does a lot of, like, roles, with similar character types, I was like, okay, Ortho's gonna be fine. Ortho's gonna be fine. I just need to hear how he tackles Ortho, and so far, it's very okay. I just think there's like a weird little detail though. It sounds like Ortho's talking, but he has like something over his face. Like if I do this, that's kind of how he was talking the whole time. It sounded like he was talking with his hand over his face or something. Which is an interesting detail, but I don't think it works because like Ortho's like a robot. And like the way I think he functions, especially when he has the mask version, is that you're just hearing his voice come out through a speaker. So, I don't know. I just thought it was an interesting detail, because, in Japanese, he doesn't really sound like that. There was a bit, though, where he sounded more like a Vocaloid than an actual, like, person talking. But that's because he was singing. And it was supposed to be like, I have a new singing feature now. I'm going to practice using it. Shouldn't Ortho talk through a cybernetic filter or something like that? I mean, the only time it sounds like he's talking through like a robot filter is the bit where he was learning to sing in the Pomfiore chapter. But like Ortho like trained his voice to sound more like a normal person talking. Cause whenever he's like firing off like his magic beams or whatever, he ends up switching into a more robotic tone as if it's like a pre-recorded sort of functioning feature, you know? Like power on. Download complete. Like he talks like that sometimes. So like there are moments where he sounds more like a robot, but for the most part when he's talking, he sounds like a person. Because he's trained himself to sound like a person. What am I doing? Can Ortho use magic? Technically, no. He's built using magic, but he doesn't, like, cast magic himself or anything like that. I think the English version of the anime kind of explains it slightly better because they call it technomancy or something. That's how Ortho functions. He is a feat of magical engineering. I'm very passionate about the robot. Okay. Pay attention to the details. And that's also part of the reason why he sounds like extra like cutesy when he speaks. And you hear that definitely in the Japanese voice. Like he sounds like very cutesy. Because he's trained himself how to talk through like watching movies and stuff. I thought he was built like a regular intelligent robot, and magic would explain why he's able to break free from his programming, though. And I mean, you know, being thrown into that also makes you that also makes you more than just a regular robot. Spoilers for the uninitiated, I guess, but I explained it poorly on purpose. Because that is kind of part of Ortho's character, is that he definitely starts off more like just a robot. And then he's like more of a person by the end of it. Bruh. I said after being thrown in what was basically hell. I'll worry about the sweateriness. And I guess what also makes Ortho unique is, you know, the fact that he is a robot. He's not affected the same way that everybody else was affected when they got thrown into, like, a dream world, because he's technically a robot. He cannot dream, so he was just, like, forced out of his... he was just, like, forced out of his body for a second. It happened again. I'm not gonna say it every time the mic stops, but it's the same problem. I guess it just doesn't like that word. That's weird. Maybe I do need to plug in the mic. I have this, like, other microphone that I haven't really used yet or plugged it in because I don't know how to set it up. I should actually try setting it up. We are very scuffed around here. Robot can't dream of electric sheep, it seems. And no, it's not just hell. It did it before a few words, I think. It'll be noticeable in the VOD. I don't check it. I don't check my VODs because I don't like hearing my voice in playback. Everything here is like a live take. No reason. Valid and real, honestly. I'll still timestamp where the mic cut out when I rewatch it, though. That'll be nice. Yeah, there's kind of been like a thought it's always constantly kind of bothering me a little bit. Because you see people complaining about the same stuff all the time. And it's like, I don't understand why people hate it when people talk about how, like, video game characters recently are just made purposely ugly. And it's like, it is true that that happens, and sometimes people don't like that. How can Ortho enter the dream worlds if he can't dream? He has to be injected in it like a virus. At least from what I remember. From what I remember of, the Insomnia chapter is, like, the only reason Ortho was able to alert everybody what was going on is because he can't dream. He's just a robot, so instead of being booted into his own separate little reality like everybody else was, he was just, like, there, just like, what happened? Why can't I move? And he was like the only one who was able to really like recall right away like what exactly happened because like he practically recorded everything. So he had to like jump from his robot body from, well, he had to jump from Ida's computer technically because he was like just jumping from like device from device to try and figure out what was going on. So he had to jump from Ida's computer to a satellite and then back to Stick's headquarters just to like try and be like, hey, something happened. So basically he has to technologically invade the minds of his friends. Yeah, they were able to like hack him in there. They were able to break down Malleus's magic as if it was like a server or something. That's how they described the whole thing. It's hard to be the best robot boy, indeed. Him being a robot came in handy. It also helps that Malleus just does not understand technology all that well. So, like, he definitely wasn't able to take into account that Ortho would not be affected the same way that everybody else was, even though his body was, like, out of commission. Because, first of all, he has multiple. And second, he technically is not a person. Personally, going back to the video game talk, I do agree that characters have been getting uglier in video games, but I think people are too narrow-minded and don't see that some games avoid that curse. Yeah. It's more like people can tell when somebody's designing a game purposely to make things look more quote-unquote realistic to what quote-unquote real women look like in the real world, but it's like, you had real women model for these characters that don't look like your average supermodel to begin with, and then you purposely kind of make the lighting just make them look worse than they actually are. It's so weird. It's so weird, man. I get that people also look different with, like, makeup and stuff like that, but at the same time, it's like, bro, what are you people doing? Like, you actually don't know what an average person looks like. Hello, I just came back from listening to Be Thankful for What You Got by Will Deval. Let's All Chant by Michael Band and Rock Your Baby George McCrae, 1974. Hey. Some real women are objectively beautiful as they naturally are without needing the Hollywood treatment. Exactly. And like even people that people say are like Hollywood like attractive aren't even really attractive, so it's like people can kind of tell when you're like actually doing this stuff on purpose. And it's just annoying. It's like you're trying too hard to appeal to people who honestly never developed a good sense of self-esteem. Like, why are you trying to appeal to people who clearly need to fix their personal issues? Like trying to appeal to people who purposely are not very comfortable in their own skin and refuse to do anything about it. People have a radar for when you're being fake. And nobody likes it when you're being fake. Because only people who have issues with their own body image get offended at other people. At least that's what I think. I think instead of appeasing to those kinds of people's fantasies, the devs should focus more on ways to constructively help the player want to change for the better. Yeah, and I mean also like, because like with character customization, you can make characters look as ugly as you want and still have fun with it. You just need to have options to do that, you know? Because it's not fun when you're like thrown into a character creator and all of the options are not very attractive. Especially coming from like a more female perspective in my opinion, because I like making pretty characters. And if the character creator doesn't allow me to make pretty people, I get bored. But also, speaking of character creators, the male options always have not good options, honestly, and that's kind of sad. There isn't much fun and variety sometimes with it. Which is understandable why more people want to make more, like, pretty female characters, because they usually put way more effort into the female options than they do the male options. It's like, I get it, yes. Women pretty, but also men want to look cool. Speaking of video games, have you heard about the new Dreamlight Valley expansion? Yes! Cinderella. Finally, movie-accurate Cinderella. Her dress is silver in the movie. It's just that marketing purposes, they were like, let's make it blue so people don't confuse it for a wedding dress. That's basically why all the marketing for Cinderella is in like blues instead of like silver. Because they didn't want it to be confused for like a wedding dress. But like she has a wedding dress in the movie and it's very clearly supposed to be white in comparison to the actual ball gown that she wears. Which is all pretty and silvery. Actually, I think the marketing version was better than the film dress. I mean, they're both pretty. I like all the Cinderella dresses, but like, it's not very common to see the silver one. Even though that's the one that's actually in the film. But I mean, when it comes to like the Disney Princess lineup, yeah, the blue definitely makes it look better with all the other characters. But I'm also sad that I can't get DLC though. At least not at the moment. Because they have Tigger! I want Tigger. He's coming back on screen now. I need. The funny thing is, like, I mean, I knew about the DLC, they talked about it before, but they didn't mention that they had Tigger and Cruella de Vil in there, and I'm just like, I saw like a random ad with it, and I'm just like, wait a minute. They added more than what they said they were gonna add. Why was I not aware of this? And I think there's more horses than just Maximus, from what I've seen. Either that or people are just making some of them. Because I know that the new DLC lets you make horses. You don't just find random horses, you can make your own. It's been a while since I've made my own horse. No, that's how you subvert expectations. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if I just didn't watch one of their little update videos about it, because, like, I haven't really kept up with it. Because I usually, like, I keep up with the announcements sometimes. So, I don't keep up with them that often, but I've kept up with it enough that I'm just, like, surprised that it's like, there's more here? Because, like, I knew that they let you make your own horses, customize horses. Maximus was gonna be there. No, it's all horse ranch themed. I mean, I'm not that into horse ranch stuff, but you know, it's worth it for more characters. Also, I want Snow White too. The actual Snow White. I don't know why I can't draw a sword. Sometimes you can surprise yourself by just not keeping up with things. Before I forgot, fun thing I saw on Twitter earlier. Disney is investing into Sora AI to Oblivion. Oh no. AI is like a scam, man. All these business people are just buying into it because they think it's the next big thing. It's gonna blow up in their faces because you can't just rely on AI anyway. There's always gotta be a person. There's always gotta still be people. People still gotta be working it. Actually, not just letting it do what say, like, oh, it's gonna moderate stuff for us. Disney has no backbone anymore, not the main branch anyway. Because it's run by business people who don't care. All they care about is appeasing out-of-touch investors because money. We need money because money. We don't care that, you know, the backbone of our legacy is about, you know, making art that's timeless and, you know, that takes money and time to do that properly. It is a long-term thing, not a quick, instantaneous money thing. And that's the thing, AI became a problem in shows, anime, and music. Yeah, because it just highlights how corporate people think when it comes to entertainment media. They don't understand it. They just think, oh, well, just do this. We just need this or whatever. They don't care about the process or the art or the emotion behind it. I already mentioned that using AI excessively can cause much interest. Yeah. Because, like, corporate people and the AI bro people, they think the same. They don't see art for what it is. They just see it as, like, a product for, like, instant money. They don't understand the process or how it actually, like, has an effect on people. This also ties back to what I said about corporate greed, letting obsession of corporization get the better of them. Yeah, exactly. Because again, they just want instant money for their bankrolls. The thing about art is that it's not really that instant. Some things get more appreciation as time goes on. There's a reason why people still love older Disney products. Even stuff that didn't initially start off very good with a good reception. It eventually, over time, people were like, wow, that was actually pretty good. People are just kind of stupid. Or maybe it's just like, it came out at a time where there was too much going on for people to truly appreciate it. Because, like, Emperor's New Groove, it didn't do so well when it came out, but, like, everybody loves it. We all love Emperor's New Groove here. It was just an okay movie at the time it came out in terms of, like, box office, I guess. During that awkward era of, like, post really good. Even if some of them aren't exactly, like, as high quality as people would have wanted them to be. Art is how unique something looks. Art is seen for what it is, like music. Yeah. Music is all about groove and soul, yet they associate it with trends, looks, languages, and status. Sometimes the companies that develop the art or music which relies too heavily on corporate greed and the audience that bought it. Yeah. Yeah, because they just think that it's going to be instant success, instant gratification. or that you need to follow a checklist and it's going to be guaranteed success, when it's like, that's not really how art works. That's the thing about art. It's subjective to a point where something that people love today can be hated tomorrow. Especially if you're just doing things because trends deem you to do it. And you're not really adding anything new to the table with your interpretation. Yes, but they say instant success and guaranteed selling can only backfire. Yep. They get all that money and they lose sight of what actually is what earned them the money. Just like what I said, when you let ego run amok, it only leads to ruin. Yep. And you can see that in, like, everything. Even, like, content creators online. When they let the money and the ego get to them, they start doing really stupid things. Not all of them, clearly. Some of them still have their head on right, but some of them, all common sense goes out the window. And they lose all sense of respect for themselves as well. You hate to see it. That's why I don't follow these people. Especially VTubers that behave like that. Yep. People who want to suck to the LA elites that hate you for being weird and unique. Why do you want to seek validation from people that don't appreciate what you do? No respect for other people and just behave like they owe us a living. Yeah. Yeah, got the nerve to give unsolicited advice like respect other people when they don't respect others. More like they don't respect themselves. You're constantly trying to seek validation from people that clearly don't like what you do and see it as a joke. I feel bad throwing shade. I feel bad throwing shade, but at the same time I'm just like, ugh. But it's true. In fact, there's a reason why I reject people's song requests because of this. Yeah. Because that song has been overexposed, overrated, and overcovered. Sometimes you just need to let something rest for a while, too. Like, okay, I've had my fill. And then you come back to it way later, and you're like, ah, now that it's not overhyped anymore, I feel better. I can appreciate it better without being oversaturated by it. But that's more of a me thing. one person, two person, have the person to say it's the DJ to keep playing pop songs repeatedly when it's not. You gotta have variety. Not every venue requires the same music. DJs explore different eras of groove and soul and sounds and not rely on pop songs or trends. It is an art. I am avoiding drawing hands right now because I don't know how. If I'm the DJ, I'll immediately reject their song requests, and if this keeps up, I'll blacklist them and not allow to suggest songs ever again. Setting standards. Love music experimentation and care about music is a job for the DJ. Never thought about it like that, but yeah, that makes sense. If you just want a playlist of pop songs, you don't actually need a DJ there. Then. Like, what's the point? You're here for an experience. Oh boy, I'm tired now. Nice meeting you. Sorry if I was ranting because I just need to get this off my chest. No, you're good. I feel the same way, but like about other things. But yeah, thanks for dropping by. Next week is still gonna be me drawing what I was drawing here. At least I think. Cause as the holidays get closer, that's when I'm like, that's birthday time. That's my birthday. I'll go and listen to Respect Yourself by Staple Singers and maybe have breakfast. Bye-bye. Goodbye. Enjoy your breakfast. Always gotta have at least something for breakfast, you know? next week is probably going to be the last week that I'll stream because the week after that is holiday stuff. Yay. And I guess when I come back in January, things might be different. I might change my schedule. Depending on how things go. I don't want to say anything yet. But yeah. January is going to be interesting. Next year, hopefully, is going to be interesting. Until then, bye-bye!